Hey,
Yeah. Finally.
good.
Hello, my friends. People, I think people see us. I will just make a quick call. Oh, yeah! People see us! Finally! Finally, John, my friend. Hello. 35 minutes of struggling with the YouTube channel, but we are now online. Yeah!
People have no idea how hard you worked.
People, yeah, we were chatting with our engineer and yeah, waiting for you. So, my friend, I'm so happy to see you, and it's a pleasure for me to make a kitchen talk anyway, interview or whatever. And would love to ask some good questions, and let's talk about what's happening now. What's happening now in the UK? How are you?
I'm good considering what's happening in the world, but I just got my head down. I'm a strong person. It is what it is. It'll get back to normal, and I just refocused all my energy onto making music and doing my live streams, which have been successful for me.
Yeah, but when was the last gig when you played when we traveled? When it was
It
March?
was it was March, and I can't remember what the date was. It was Passion in the UK, and it was touch and go whether that was going to happen because the UK was slowly closing down. The week before, I was in Montreal. They in Canada shut down when I got back, and then I've got to say I was really nervous about that gig because of all the unknown, the doom and gloom, and there I had to go into this environment, sold out environment, packed with 2,000 people. It's like I was a little bit anxious, but it was a brilliant party, and I'm glad I did it. So I've got a good memory of that one.
Yeah. So tell us a little about what while you're sitting at home doing in the studio doing weekly streamings. It's a story because I was really surprised when I heard your one of your sessions, which is ambient, and I'm a big fan of ambient, and this kind of music I started listening in maybe in early 2000s. So, but that mix was really deep, and it's like was it journey or of ambient stuff. Tell
Yeah,
us a little about your what you're trying to tell people because every week it's every different sessions.
yeah. I just wanted to make it different. It'll be too easy to play the same ish set every week. And what made me realize when I did the first one is you'll know this because when you go on tour, you find all this music, this amazing music, you play it in one city, so you're playing it to that one audience.
Yeah,
Then you play the following week and you play to another audience.
yeah,
So it's the first time they've heard it. And it's the same, that's what I do, that's what we do week in, week out. But suddenly you've got the world audience watching the same thing. So you can't just play the same thing week after week. So I sat and thought about this. I thought, I want to make it interesting. So that's when I started doing these themes. Just okay, what can I do? And I did the ambient one. Um, I've just gone blank. What I did, I remade one of my old compilations, Euphoria White Label Level Two, and that was a real bugbear to me because this was in 2002, I think it was. The mastering engineer made a mistake on CD one, and he mastered it in mono, and it was never spoken about. It was too late. There was like thousands of these CDs that were made. They were already out in shops and for sale. And then I heard it. I said, it's a mono. So that always stayed with me. So I remade it live. So I did that one live. I've just recently did my first producer set. That was on Friday. And going back to your ambient question, in the in the 80s, as I was growing up as a kid, the electronic scene wasn't as it is today. The dance music underground scene, as we know, didn't exist. So you had pop music, and you had that was in the top 40 clubs. then you had like the gay scene had kind of disco. That was the closest thing to the electronic scene, but I wasn't into that disco sound. It just wasn't for me. But eventually that did turn into house music. So my decision liking music was I didn't like live music. I didn't like the band stuff, but the ambient electronic world was embracing synthesizers, and it was like Jean-Michel Jarre, Tangerine Dream,
Yeah.
all those acts. They were making these sounds which sounded like you were going to space. It was futuristic sounds, and I got obsessed with that. And it was ambient music, and that always stayed with me. Though I didn't follow that path because house music was born, and then the rest is history, techno and the raves and everything. That was the gateway that got me into electronic music and electronic sounds. So that's always stayed with me throughout my career, and I always collected that music. I've always looked for it. I've always hunted for it, and I've always had my now we're on Spotify, Apple Music. I've always had those playlists packed full of amazing music, and I thought, well, this was a good idea to share this side of me, which people don't know, and I did. And you reached out straight away because you've got a history of ambient as well.
Yeah, I mean, you are the guy who can tell many stories, I think, because in this situation, because you have like, for how many years do you do your job? For 30 years?
Only 10 years. I'm actually 20. I'm 27.
20?
No, I'm joking. 30 years now, yes.
Yeah, 27 years, and you can tell people lots of stories about everything, about classics, about playing even techno. I didn't listen to your joof sessions with techno yet, but I think it's gonna be like a proper stuff, because you have perfect taste in music. So yeah.
What I've discovered about myself by doing these is I have to tell a story from whatever I do. So it has to start at a low energy, and it has to build. It has to be an unfolded story, which it ends to something with a bit more energy. And that's what I did with the techno set. A lot of people were really shocked, because techno is a wide spectrum of sound. So it started off low tempo, and by the end, it was thundering along, really banging hard. And that's over 4 hours. So it's been good. It's been really good for me doing these, because I've just learned so much about myself as a DJ and as a producer. As this weekend, it's really woken me up and made me, one, know what to make next, and two, to start playing a few more of my own tracks in my sets.
Yeah, but question: do you still have your vinyl collection? It's big.
It's huge. There must be 80,000 vinyls, something like that.
It's a lot, and you still keep it safe. Don't sell it, send it to everyone. Keep it because it's your story.
And you'll know as well, when I could rummage around the vinyl, every vinyl that I pull out, when you see the picture cover, when you see the scribbled notes, a memory comes back. Every single one brings a memory, and it'll take me, no matter what year, it takes me way back to an old residency, takes me back to a memory, just everyone, holding it and looking at the cover. It takes me way back, so I'll never ever sell them. So because I'm not long moved here, it's frustrating. I need to get the vinyl out. They're all in storage at the moment, but I'm going to make a dedicated music room and have them all on display. I have to.
Yeah, I think it is going to be huge for everyone, for your fans, to hear your proper classic sets from vinyl. Because if someone asks me at the moment, can you play vinyl right now, I can say, yeah, sure. It's like riding a bicycle. When you started it once, you can play it at any time, even at night when someone wake you up and said, hey, Alexey, let's play vinyl set. I will do it for you. It's easy, and I think for the fans, when everything will be over, you need to maybe speak with some of the clubs or some of the venues to take proper 2, 3, 4, 5 bags, like back in the day, fly like a proper DJ with the vinyls and play a vinyl set.
It was a real nuisance. Just talking, it's like carrying these heavy vinyls, and the one thing I hated was you get charged access luggage for starters. Then two, if you've got a connection, you'll make it, and you're just anxious. Will your vinyl make it? And the amount of times it didn't make it, To be honest, I was glad when it moved on. I was one of the first ones to move to CD, and it was for that reason. One, carrying more music around. Two, I, I, I always get told off for saying this, but I was very vocal about it years ago. It's better sound quality. I never sat. I've got this connection to vinyl because it's a big part of my career, but the sound was awful. The sound quality was really bad, and getting onto CD with proper mastered, you could do a higher quality music file that was mastered better. It just sounded better in the club. I always used to get a lot of comments from Ministry Sound and all these clubs with high-end sound systems like, how's your sound so good? And this was back in the 90s because I'm on CDs and it's a perfect sound. The sound engineers used to love me. So that side, it's still history. I still love vinyl. Like you said, I could bust them out and play a vinyl set, but I was happy to move on from vinyl. Just so much easier. And where I am now with, with files, 24-bit, better quality tools. It's all about the sound quality. That makes a difference for a good set.
Yeah, absolutely true. One thing I just remember to when I called you for the first time, advising to make a kitchen, was you don't know about this, but I remember when I started my very first asphalt radio show. The radio show I started in the local radio station in Murmansk, in my hometown in the north of Russia. In 2005, I sent an email, or maybe I write down on MySpace to you to send me a guest mix. So our first meeting, actually not personally, but first meeting was in 2005 when you sent me a guest mix for my radio show.
Wow.
So
yeah, that long ago.
It's about
15
years ago. So, and it was a pleasure for me that you replied me on that time, because some guy from somewhere in Russia asking a guest mix, and you sent it to me, and it was an honor for me to put it on a local radio station in Murmansk. I can also add that promo mix was proper psy trance stuff.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been actually. That time I was really getting into the psychedelic sound. I was moving away. Trance was starting to kind of get a little bit mainstreamish, and I've always wanted to line myself with the underground. And the psychedelic world at that time had reinvented itself. It was Goa, and then Goa disappeared, and it resurfaced the psytrance, and there was good underground music. So yeah, it would have been that time as well, definitely.
So since then, I'm listening for your mixes, live shows, watching your playing live. So you moved from the fast trance to more deep progressive, more underground, melodic techno stuff. Why did you decide to change your way from the trance to more slower underground or even slower music?
Well, I've actually had two sides to me all my career. There's always been the deep side, the progressive side, and like the turbo mix, as we call it, deep and turbo side. And I always lean on one or the other when I have a void of something that I can't find. And throughout the 90s, especially the later part of the 90s, the progressive trance scene was amazing. There was so much good music, like Huge Tunes, Platypus, those days. It was amazing. But then in the beginning, from 2000 onwards, it went very minimal and slow. Like those melodic moments, the nice grooves, the chunkiness, the more driving stuff that I like from the progressive world just kind of dried up from round about that time, again, mid-2000s. And I just couldn't find anything from that world. So the psychedelic world was, one, offering me underground, but there was a progressive side to that world with spiral tracks, for example, Atmos and Vibrosphere. So there was that take on it in the psychedelic world. And I've always been connected to the psychedelic world since the early 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the rare DJs that's always had one foot in each camp. but these worlds keep evolving, and the trance world was really heading mainstream. It was really heading towards more commercial, like the underground trance side. It was just big hits. Kind of, it's got stuck and similar to that where it is today. So hence why I went to the psychedelic world, and then the psychedelic world, as in psychedelic's a big picture, but the psytrance sound, it just didn't start to not to do anything for me. It was the same ideas, the same production ideas, the triplets, things like that. It was getting sameish. And I've always been one to move forward, to hunt for something new and fresh. And suddenly the deeper side of the psychedelic world and the progressive scene started to evolve. And they were the ones coming up with all the great ideas.
Yeah.
And they were taking the step forward. They were actually, they were using more melodic, hypnotic, trancey moments than I feel the actual trance world. So hence why I took that path. And it's just confusion when you have to pigeonhole stuff and give it a name. It just confuses. Like if we're talking like older generation, they'll listen to my sets and think, oh, this is trancey. But to the new generation, their education process has been completely different, and they say it's techno. So that's it's a confusion.
So a trance DJ playing techno now. Yeah. I understand what you mean. Yeah. A question coming to our kitchens from YouTube guys. Hi John, thanks for being here for us. What are your favorite producers nowadays?
Oh, it changes all the time. So
yeah, but okay, let's take during their self-isolation moments. During these 2 months, what maybe top 3, top 5 of producers that music which you really like?
I'll always love Jero Mishma. He's really on the roll at the moment. He's making some really nice, deep, heads down stuff at the moment. Really into his stuff. Stan Kolo's always a winner. I think we all know Stan. He's a music machine. Rick Pierre O'Neill. I think that's probably my top 3 at the moment. But there's a much bigger world out there as well.
Yeah, and I always respect at the moment all the producers, all the musicians who is making music at the moment. There is so lots of stuff coming out every day. It's really
that's why it's just hard to say 1 or 3. You said narrow it down. It's just the list goes on, and it's evolving, and then that's what we have to say. Progressive house and melodic techno, whatever it is. That world's really interesting at the moment.
Another question: how's new John Double Fleming album coming along from Bianca? The question. Any plans for releasing any new stuff? Any album?
Yeah, there's 2 on the go at the moment. Currently finishing off myself and the Digital Blondes. We made 3 albums under OODB, and we toured the world. We played some massive gigs and festivals and club shows. Then we took a break to focus on our own things. Ricky's done, I think it's 3 artist albums. I did 2 in between. And we always knew we're both going to feel the right moment to get back together. And it is now. And we're just finishing off the next album. When it'll get released, I'm not sure. We're doing tweaks to it. And if anyone misses the good underground trance sound, they're going to be very happy. Again, that's going to get translated in so many different ways to different generations, but it is proper underground trance music in my eyes, but it'll probably get called techno from other people. It's really good. We're so happy with it. So we're doing the finishing touches to that. Then I can focus on my energy on my own artist album. I've got about 15 tracks that I need to finish, but I've got plenty of time to do them.
But I spoke with one of the producers I work a lot with. He told me that doing an album at the moment is not like a goal for a producer. It's easier to release singles, maybe 3-4 singles a year, than making 1 album a year. And what do you mean? What do you think about that? Or it's easier for you to release an album like a story, or it's easier for you to release singles and stuff?
The thing is, the the meaning of an album has been lost now, and same with singles. They seem to be more marketing tools than an album. Like, singles used to get released just to kind of put a message out, say this is what I'm about. But now what people are releasing endless amounts of singles just to get a top 10 hit, and then they can say, hey, I've got a number one in Beatport, book me. That's what it feels like, and it's the same with a lot of artist albums that I've heard. It's just the same as what they've been doing singles, just packed together with remixes and all this stuff. Just try and make as many big hits and cram them into an album as possible. Whereas an album, to me, was always a platform for an artist to be braver, so people could look deeper inside to that artist. It was a platform to discover other sides to them. Let the artist express themselves. So you're going to hear stuff that you wouldn't expect. That's still today the stance that I take. Like with my previous albums, that's what I've done. You heard some orchestral stuff, some ambient stuff. You heard a whole variety of music, and that's what I want to do with my next album as well. It'll be pretty much along that line. So it's not a marketing tool. It's not full of big bangers and big hits to hit the charts. I've never done that. I've never been about that, and I won't. I'm not one of those ones that released as loads of singles. I mean, my last single was a year ago. I don't release a track until I fully believe in it, and it's something that I would play out. And it's not one just to be in the charts. It has to be something that I really love and I feel passionately about, and it's kind of almost an indication to where I'm going to go musically. So yeah, that's the stance I take.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, album is a journey and is a story. So if you're releasing an album, you need to tell a story to your audience.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly the reason. Will you put my dinner on then? You promised me. You owe me dinner.
Yeah. Oh, dinner will be when we meet personally. I hope it will be this year. I will make you a super dinner. I know you vegetarian. No meat, no fats. It will be like perfect for your health and stuff.
Thank you.
So the question goes from again from YouTube. Ibiza in September still going ahead, but I want to add. What will be the first place where you're gonna play when everything will be done? You don't know. You have no plans.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. I think the problem with the clubs and the bars and the pubs, that industry was locked down first, and we're going to be the last ones to reopen. And it's a question amongst all of us at the moment. It's a question amongst club owners. It's happening on a weekly basis. Nobody knows. My diary was, I was booked. I was fully booked until the end of the year, and that's just all on hold or gone or moved till next year. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I guess that's for people watching that as well, because as a performer, I'm in a little bit of a safer environment. I'm in the DJ booth. I'm not close to people, but who's going to go into a club? When will the clubbers, feel safe to go in a club? I want them to feel comfortable and safe. When's the point when they go in surrounded by lots of people? It's almost impossible to social distance in a club. It really is. You need to go get to the bar, the toilets and stuff. I don't know. That's going to get dictated when people feel safe. If there is some form of medicine, if you get it, you don't end up on a ventilator in hospital. You can just take a course of tablets, and you're gonna recover quicker. A vaccine, I don't know. I think we're maybe a year away, perhaps.
Did you see I think Mixmag showed one of the clubs which was opened for not long ago in Germany, and for the capacity of the club is 2,000 people, and it was allowed to get 100 there. Is it? What do you think is a good idea to put only 100 people to a big club and play DJ sets for them? Or if it will be easier to wait until everything will be opened with no limits of capacity?
Again, that's not one for me to answer. I'm happy to play to just two people. That's what's built into me as a DJ, and I will do that. But that's down to the people entering the club or the festival. How comfortable do they feel? I mean, yes, the dance floor you could probably separate people, but then there's the rest going on in the club. Even if you've got 100 people, you've got to go to the bathroom, you've got to go to the bar, and you've got to get through a narrow door, you've got to queue in a line to get in. There's lots of things. I guess that relates to cinemas, to theatres, to sports stadiums, and I don't know. We're learning every day. It's news keeps coming out, and I might have had it. You might have had it.
Same.
I might be stronger towards it. You know, no one knows. I think once those testings kits come out and they're available to everyone, at least if I have a test and I know I've had it, same with thousands of other people. You think, okay, we're hearing now your immune system's stronger because you've had it, and it appears that the massive percent of people that have had it recover, and it's just affecting people with underlying problems, and unfortunately older generations. So once all this information comes out, and then we can make a good choice, a sensible choice of what to do.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the question which is coming from this, while people normally DJs, artists, musicians sitting at home doing their music, doing streamings and stuff, donation stuff, donation thing. Do you think it's a good way for when artists ask to donate their artists for support? Because there was, I think, and John asked you, Instagram or YouTube, it was when top superstar DJs asked to donate normal people for the salaries for their tour managers. If you've seen that.
Yeah, I think you're always going to get things like that happen, and it just distracts from the real problem out there. The music industry, as in Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, jumped in. They were very quick to jump in and support artists because they really understand. I mean, there's a struggle for everyone. Let's not forget about everyone else. It's a struggle for everyone, but we're talking about the music industry specifically, so I don't want to forget and understand the pain that the rest of the world's going through as well. We've all got problems, but we're talking about the music industry, and just generally, it's a struggle for most musicians. People see just a small top tier of successful people and just presume that everyone's the same. It's the same with sports people. You look at a football, soccer star, and you just think, oh, all football players are super rich, and it's not the case. It's just the very top, and the rest are. It's a day-to-day job, and that's the reality of the music industry. It's a struggle for the massive majority, and when you dedicated all this time into your careers, and then suddenly your income is stripped away because the income comes from touring. I mean, again, people presume if you do well on Spotify, you do well on Beatport, that it's good money, but it's not the reality. It's very poor money. It takes a lot of sales just to earn, say, £200,
Yeah,
and
I know.
you can't survive on that. So the income from releasing music is very, very poor. So I know from speaking to a lot of my colleagues, I'm worried for them. I don't know if they're going to get across the line. Because this has gone on longer, and I think it'll go on till the end of the year. I don't know what will be left. I really, really don't know what will be left. But the same people, the same players in this game are going to be the same people that will rebuild this scene, because we're going to lose a lot of promoters. We're going to lose a lot of clubs. And we all played up, like in the beginning of my career, like through the 80s and 90s, created raves because there was no electronic scene. Not just me, but it was the whole load of us. We created parties for people to go to. So we will be hungry. Many of us will be just get our sleeves rolled up. Okay, there's many clubs gone. There's many things that have happened that are bad for the scene, because people want to go out and partying again and they have nowhere to go. And I'm definitely, we're having conversations now. I'm going to be speaking to promoters that have lost their jobs, their income, to unite together, to start putting events on, to create parties again, to start building the scene from the bottom up. So I've seen a few bumps on social media, and it's not fair because people, it's really easy to write stuff behind a keyboard, but not know the reality of how the music industry works. And it's going to be a tough ride, I think, for the next year. It's going to be a real tough ride. So yeah, I mean, the donations help everyone ride through this to be able to rebuild and give back and invest back into the scene that everyone loves. And everyone will be genuinely doing that because you need music, you need clubs, you need dance floors, you need passionate people, you need experienced people. We're all ready to jump into action and pick up the pieces and dust everything off and like, let's create a party again. In a way, I'm excited about this. There will be light at the end of this because I think things did get a little bit too corporate. There was the corporate and the greed, everything that comes with it was coming into my kind of world, my underground world, and it was this muddy area. But I think this is really going to build the underground scene again. I think a lot of us will get into this, and I think you'll see the underground, as the underground scene always has historically done through the bumps that the world's had, 9/11, recessions. I mean, we've got recession coming as well. The underground world thrive off the back of that because the underground artists, they're cheaper, thus meaning the door prices can be cheap or free to get in, and people will just want to release. They want to go somewhere. It's a horrible ride we're all going to go through after this. I mean, we've been through bad enough ride as it is. It's going to get dark time. So just to have that release with a room full of people, it's good therapy sessions. So yeah, I think a lot of us are going to invest our time, give free sets, things like that, free parties, just to get this scene rebuilt again. So there's a lot of work to be done soon.
Yeah, one thing I want to add, because you, for example, you are a great DJ. You're a DJ with massive experience for many years. You can play anything, and while you play anything, it's perfect. So the donation thing is a good thing for an artist because, for example, when you're flying somewhere to any country, to festival, to a club, the promoter just let you know what are the ticket sales, what are the numbers, so you don't know who paid for the tickets. But while people supporting you, making like a small donation, like a coffee or tea, or breakfast for or something like, just sending you something, saying that, listen, John, I'm here listening for your music for 20 years. I've been big fan. I'm from that country, from that small city. I have like a big business, but your music helped my business to go up, and here is my respect. That's the thing. What, for example, what I get is the same as like donations as well on my account. So I'm fully agree with you and respect. So yeah, that's just not. It's not aggressive thing. Just not to one thing. Not to ask people. You don't need to ask people to donate to you. You just put information somewhere. Where is it? And yeah, people will choose it to help you or to support you or not. So that's what I want.
I think so. I mean, that should be the general rule for all artists. Just tastefully, if you're needing help, put something somewhere, and that's it. Because the rewards will come back. It really will. Everyone that's receiving donations will definitely reinvest back in and give a lot back. And yeah, it's just hard. I just know it's so hard for many. It's paining me. Some amazing talent out there. How on earth they're going to make it through? I know that they're in a mess at the moment. So it's yeah, it's pretty serious, pretty dark times for the music industry. Like I said, in reality, I don't think clubs are going to be anywhere near what they were even by the end of this year. I think we're going to start edging into next year till things start getting repaired. So that's a long time to go with no income. So yeah, it's a tough ride coming up.
It will be hard times to start the dialogues between audience promoters, clubs, and everyone.
Yeah, and those conversations, I'm having loads of meetings and stuff at the moment, already planning what to do, what ideas, and we've all been realistic. You surround yourself by similar people that think the same, and there's a lot of these conversations going on at the moment. We're looking at how we're going to rebuild this. We're already planning next year, and okay, let's see what we can do. So it's all these plans are happening now. So there's good times ahead. There will be light at the end of this.
I hope so as well. I hope that it won't be. The start will be this year, not next year. I really hope.
Keep fingers crossed. If we get
crossed,
medical news, and then I think hopefully yes.
But if it won't happen, a question coming from YouTube, John. Have you ever thought about profession changing?
About what?
Have you thought about changing your profession? So, if so, what did you say? What will be your profession if not a DJ?
It's all I know. It's all I've dedicated the last 30 odd years to. Is this?
Yeah.
I know. I like to think I'm quite good at it. I've got the hang of it now. But just production, and it'll be hard. I don't want to let go of it. I'm not going to let go of it, so I can't answer that. I don't see me hanging up my headphones yet. Just ignore the virus going on. If that question was asked now, okay, what's next? Are you looking to hang up your headphones? What are you going to do next? It's not going to happen. I'll know when to hang up my headphones. What I do, and people have seen this, it explains my sound as well. When it's the nature of the music industry, when something gets popular, the corporate companies monopolize it, commercialize it. You either sit in that camp and moan and cry, but you can't change anything, or you just realign yourself with the scene that you want to be a part of. So that's why I've been doing this constant navigating. Like I still consider myself a hypnotic kind of trancey DJ, but I can't say that now. But that's why I had to really just take one little step away from the trance world to realign myself with the underground world. And it's making me happy. All the time I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm not going to give up. So I'll just keep, as I've always done all my career, I'll just keep navigating, align myself with the correct underground worlds that make me happy. I don't know. I don't know when it'll end.
Yeah, one of my friends who knows me for many years, and you're doing it for 27 years. I'm doing this for 15 years. He knows that I finished in Murmansk, in my hometown. I finished Marine Academy. So when all this virus started, he called me, Alexey, let's just finish your DJ and go to the sea as an engineer. I said, listen, give me time to struggle, because I invested all my power, all my passion for many years to music, for the club parties, for the label, and so it's just saying stop, I'm going to another place. I'm not sure it's the good way to change your life.
I couldn't do it. Can't imagine myself doing anything else.
Yeah. Let's speak about a little bit. I know that you're traveling. You've been to Australia, to Asia, to United States, to South America. A little bit about Russia. So when was the first gig here in Russia? Can you remember that? Because
now you're asking me. I can't remember.
Because I can remember few of the not few. It was like maybe 3 or 4 gigs when we played together on the parties in Moscow with Fonarov, and when we flew. If you remember, you are the guy who flew from Moscow to Vladivostok, so you flew through all our country. It's about like.
It's a long flight as well.
Yeah.
Really long.
Yeah, really long. Yeah, we're a big country. Yeah.
But because I remember Vladimir Fonarov. I remember playing with him years ago. I just forgotten the name of the venue. I think we did a God's Kitchen event or a Gate
Yeah,
Crusher or
I think
something.
it was in Gaudi Arena.
Yeah, Gaudi. So I did the Gaudi quite a few times, but I came before that. There was other venues I played there before. But even Gaudi, when was that? Was that 2000 and
I don't remember because at that time,
six?
yeah, I was in 2000. I was only a clubber, and yeah, I moved to Moscow maybe it's 12 years ago only. So yeah, and we met personally. Personally, we met. If you remember, you had a party in Saratov. You, it's a small, not small city. It's actually big. So I made a booking for you there, maybe in 2000 and I can't remember. So many gigs, so amazing gigs. What happens in our lives? Well, my friends, I think we spoke about everything at the moment, which is useful information that we need to tell our audience. But in the final way, what do you want to say to your audience, to the people who will watch this interview in this kitchen later?
I think the main thing is it's just you've got to take care of yourselves and your family. It's a tough time for all of us, and yeah, I think about everyone and everyone going through this. It's a strange time, you know. I'm very rural now, and I haven't seen my family for a long time. It's frustrating. Still can't move around, so it's the same for many. And I know there's going to be light in the end of the tunnel for everyone, no matter what you do, whatever career you're in. We're going to be for a bit of a tough ride, but at the end of it all, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the club and that reuniting with everyone and having an amazing party together is going to be really, really, really good for us. It's going to be the best therapy ever. So, you know, over the years, you get familiar faces, you recognise people from different cities, different countries, and it makes me hungry just to see everyone and be able to hug them as well. And we can't do that at the moment, but just to hug everyone,
yeah,
say hi.
I can hug you like this.
I know that's all we can do. But just to get reunited on the dance floor again, I think it's just going to be an amazing feeling. So I can't wait to do that. And that's my dog as well. My dog needs the bathroom. If you're wondering what that noise is.
Yeah, from I want to say we love you from all our audience. You know that you have lots of fans here in Russia. I want to say big hello from Fonero, from that festival, from my friends who love your music as well. So, and many thanks for the kitchen. Kitchen talk is always nice. Let's keep this for the history when we were sitting in our homes doing productions and mixes and all the stuff.
There's my kitchen.
Yeah. Kitchen is a good place to talk.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was fun. It's good seeing you again, Alexey, because it's frustrating. We don't know when the next time's going to be, but so just to catch up and chat, like this is basically what we do every time we see each other, have conversations like this, which is good.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank everyone for your questions, and let's talk soon. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Hugs and kisses,
Definitely.
yeah. Cheers,
Big
buddy.
hugs to everyone.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks you.
All right. Take care.
Take care.